Coming up on the KCRG-TV9 News at 5:30, one man is in the hospital after an officer shot him during a fight involving dozens in a parking lot at this Waterloo bar. A congregation in one church in Cedar Rapids lost the building in the flood of 2008, but now this new space, a grand opening on this Easter Sunday. And Pope Francis today said he's hoping that peace comes from the new nuclear deal with Iran during his Easter Sunday address.
Live in high definition from your 24-hour news source, you're watching KCRG-TV9 News at 5:30.
Thank you for joining us tonight. A man is in critical condition this evening after a Waterloo police officer shot him early this morning. It happened around 1:30 in the morning in the parking lot of the New World Lounge 2. That's at 504 Real Street in Waterloo. That's the corner of Real and Broadway in Waterloo's east side. Officers responded to the report of a fight involving about 40 people in the parking lot. Officers were trying to break up the fight in the parking lot, and police say they tried to stop 27-year-old Javon Webb. We're told that's when he got into a car. Investigators say he drove towards an officer, hitting the officer with the car. An officer, though, was treated and released from Allen Hospital, but when all this was happening, at least one officer fired shots at the vehicle Webb was in. One man told us he's lived next to this location for about 12 years, and he's concerned about the safety.
You know, sometimes they have a nice time. Everybody enjoy themselves. But most of the time, it ends up being what it don't supposed to be. And it's better, you know, it's just not right.
Investigators say Webb arrived at the hospital with gunshot wounds. He is in critical but stable condition. Police say the officer who did get hit also went to Allen Hospital for treatment. Doctors released him earlier today. The two officers involved in the incident are on administrative leave. That's based on department policy. The Division of Criminal Investigation is handling the case. 2 years ago in Waterloo, another shooting involving police. It was in May of 2013 when officers shot then 39-year-old Richard Anderson when they responded to a call about a man with a knife. When officers arrived on scene, Anderson refused to drop the knife and threatened the officers. That's when one officer shot him. Anderson was treated at UIHC 2 months after the incident. The Division of Criminal Investigation took Anderson into custody on weapons and interfering charges. The Iowa DCI is still investigating an officer-involved shooting that took place 7 days ago in Cedar Rapids. Police say that they shot 27-year-old Kyle Orth multiple times after he led them on a short chase and allegedly drove aggressively towards officers in this alley on the city's northeast side. Last week, Orth told TV9 that he did not mean to drive towards the officers in an aggressive manner. At this point, no charges have been filed. Hiawatha police are investigating a shooting this morning with one man hit in the abdomen around 1:30 a.m. Officers were called out to the 800 block of Brandon Avenue. That's close to Boyson and Robbins Roads. While responding to the gunshot victim, police said that they spotted a vehicle matching the description of a suspect's vehicle speeding away from the scene. After a short chase, police arrested the driver on traffic charges, and at least one passenger, though, got away from the car. Investigators say they found a gun along the path of the vehicle's chase. No information on the person in custody or the man who was shot and taken to a hospital. We received plenty of calls on those incidents overnight. Thank you for those. Whenever you see news happening, give us a call on Newsline 9. That number is 319-365-9999. You can also email us with pictures and videos to newsroom@kcrg.com. This Easter Sunday turned out to be warm and dry. A live look at our North Liberty City Cam. We'll bring in meteorologist Chris Havley. Chris, what can we expect going into the evening hours?
Yeah, you're right, Chris. Beautiful day today, and we're going to wrap up the weekend on a pretty nice note. We've hit the 70-degree mark in many spots out there. A current look at temperatures in Iowa City on Pinpoint StormNet. Solon at 69, maybe go up to 71 in some parts of Iowa City. A checkup in Waterloo, they even hit 71 in that area as well in the downtown area. So a mild and sunny day out there across eastern Iowa. Now going forward for the rest of our night tonight, we're going to see mostly clear skies with clouds slowly building towards the morning hours. Temperatures falling down to the mid-40s for overnight lows, low 40s the farther north you go. But as those clouds increase, that's a sign we have some more moisture hitting the atmosphere, and that's going to play the part for some good chances for some very much needed rainfall coming up in the extended forecast. We'll break down the chances for rain coming up later. Chris?
Thank you, Chris. Leaders in Alameda County are turning to voters for a second time to see if they will pay for a new jail. The county will hold a special election on May 5th for a $5.1 million bond referendum. Leaders will use the money to build a public safety center on land the county already owns. It will include a jail, a sheriff's office, and a 911 dispatch center. The sheriff is pushing the project as the current 75-year-old jail is not meeting state and federal standards. He says it could be closed in the near future if an upgrade doesn't come. Voters nearly rejected the last bond referendum for the same project in November.
We're going to have this cost. This is something that we need to provide. We want to find the most feasible solution to a problem that is now upon us.
If the project passes, it will mean a tax hike for property taxes throughout Alameda County. The sheriff says without a new jail, though, they'll pay even more money to house inmates in neighboring counties. KCRG-TV9's Jill Casper will go inside the story tonight at 10. The Waterloo City Council is looking into letting the State Patrol use an old fire station on the north side of town. The Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier reports that the Iowa State Patrol is considering moving from its offices at 1510 West 1st Street. Waterloo's public safety director says he thinks the Lone Tree Road Fire Station could be fitted for the State Patrol to use while they build a new facility. The council will talk about the proposal at 7 p.m. tomorrow night at City Hall. As church bells rang out across much of the nation today, one church in Cedar Rapids has so much to celebrate on this Easter Sunday. We've chronicled the 7 difficult and trying years for Salem United Methodist Church in the heart of the flood of 2008. Today, the worshipers marked Easter 2015 in a new spot.
Surrounded by still broken dirt, the congregation of Salem United Methodist is finally breaking bread in their new worship space.
We're celebrating today the rising of Jesus on Easter and the rising of Salem on this day too.
Pastor John Luke says the church held a soft launch in mid-March just to work out some of the bugs, as he puts it.
We've had our first wedding here on March 21st. We had our first funeral on March 28th. And then, of course, we entered into Holy Week. And so it's been an exciting time, but I think we're kind of ready to get going now.
Longtime church members like Percy Cavanis are delighted to have a permanent place to call home. She's been a congregation member for 56 years and remembers the old building.
It's all new instead of old, but I think there's about as much room, which is wonderful. The core people stuck together through all of the moves around because we're a family.
The chair of the church's building committee says there's a lot of upgrades in additions to the new facility.
Classrooms, Sunday school rooms, a nursery, youth room, office space, just things that we need to be able to function and be able to provide the ministries that we would like to the community.
But not everything is new. Luke says pieces of the old Salem church were woven into these walls, including its stained glass windows.
I think that makes the people who have been a part of Salem from a long time feel a lot more welcome and feel like this is still their home.
In Cedar Rapids, Brady Smith, KCRG-TV9 News.
Thank you, Brady. Some people in drought-riddled California say they're worried about running out of water now. The governor is defending his decision to enforce water restrictions that exclude farmers. And Israel's prime minister thinks that the U.S. should back out of the nuclear deal with Iran that was announced this week. And today, the Pope said he's praying for peace in the region. Stay with your 24-hour news source, KCRG-TV9.
Live, on air, and online from your 24-hour news source. Chris Earl, meteorologist Chris Havley, and Josh Christensen Sports. This is the KCRG-TV9 News at 5:30.